Of all the world's great myths, the earliest is the tale of the hero's quest. And one story has been told for more than 3,000 years.
The story of Jason and the Argonauts is a classic tale of the hero's quest, a sort of ancient Greek mission impossible. It's got all the ingredients of fairy tale, heroes and princesses, magic and dragons. It's got a dark strain of tragedy at its heart. It was also the story of a sea voyage, a journey into the unknown to reach the land where the sun rises. Jason's task, to paraphrase a modern version of the myth, was to boldly go where man had never been before.
Like many Greek myths, the tale begins in bloodshed. Jason's wicked uncle, Peleus, seizes the throne of Iolcos and deposes the rightful king, Jason's father.
Nephew.
To be secure, Peleus must kill Jason, but the boy is whisked away. For Jason, the gods plan a different destiny. So, like Hamlet, or the Lion King, or Harry Potter, the boy knows about death and loss. He grows up here on Mount Pelion in central Greece, a magic mountain.
It's the summer resort of the gods. The gods used to move from Olympus and spend the summer here in Pelion. Asclepius, you call him? Asclepius?
The father of medicine, the god of medicine, yeah.
He lived here. Yes, It's the mountain of the centaurs, especially the most important of them all, centaur Chiron. He was the one who taught Achilles.
Achilles, the hero of the Trojan War.
He was the teacher of Achilles.
Even today, when you talk to Greeks, the gods and heroes are real.
Many people have argued that these stories have some kind of historical basis because they seem so rooted in real places, like Mount Pelion here. But you always have to remember with myths that they mingle fantasy and fairy tale and real-life detail in a completely haphazard and delightful way. The story of Jason's like that. It begins with a little boy who has lost his mother and father, being brought up here on Mount Pelion by a kindly centaur, half man, half horse. From the very beginning, you're entering the world of magic.
In Greek myth, Chiron the centaur was the first practitioner of medicine.
Because there's plenty of healing herbs here. Yeah, you can smell it everywhere, can't you? Yep.
And Jason's name, a Bronze Age name, means the healer.
Wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing?
So this is the cave where Jason was brought up by
Εδώ ήταν το μέρος που ο Ιάσον
Όχι μόνο ο Ιάσονας, αλλά και πάρα πολλοί ήρωες της ιστορίας μας.
In ancient times, tales were told of strange rituals up here. How men came to the cave dressed in freshly killed rams' fleeces. Some said human beings were sacrificed.
So, Stathis, in ancient Greece, there used to be a festival every year here in the summer where people came up to the cave and dressed up in sheepskins and things like this. Have you ever heard of any festival like this that survived into modern times?
Εποχή μας δεν προλάβουμε να τα δούμε. Το ακούσαμε ότι γινόταν σε παλιά χρόνια.
It was as recent as turn of the century.
100 years ago. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. You can imagine it though here, can't you?
So there's a first clue to the ancient beliefs from which Jason's tale is spun. Like fairy tales, myths express our deepest thoughts, hopes and fears. But in myths, especially Greek myths, the hero doesn't always live happily ever after. When he's 20 years old, Jason leaves Mount Pelion to claim his birthright, his father's kingdom. On the way, he loses a sandal carrying an old woman across a river. She's his protectress, the goddess Hera, in disguise. And then Jason heads down into the plain of Iolkos to his uncle's palace.
Though King Pelias sat upon the throne of Iolkos, he was uneasy. A prophecy from the oracle at Delphi had warned him to beware a stranger who would come wearing just one sandal. So when Jason arrived and boldly claimed the throne, the king was afraid. The sacred law of hospitality forbade him from harming Jason directly, but Pelias was cunning. "Tell me, young man," he said to Jason, "if you were me, and you were faced with a challenger to your throne, what would you do?" Jason replied, "I would set him a task that none but the gods could hope to perform." "Very well then," said Pelias. "If you would wear my crown, you must first bring me the Golden Fleece."
But what was the fleece? Well, the fleece came from a marvellous golden ram, a gift of the king of the gods, Zeus himself. The ram had flown east to the land where the sun rises. And there the king, as son of the sun god, had sacrificed it and hung the fleece in a sacred tree guarded by a dragon. A wondrous portent in a land no human had ever seen. Greek tradition set the tale of Jason in the age of heroes, the time of the Trojan War. What we call the Mycenaean age. Of course, it sounds like fairy tale, but Troy itself was a fairy tale till the archaeologists dug it up.
Wow.
And in 2001 came another amazing discovery, the Bronze Age palace of Jason's Iolkos, frozen in the moment of its final destruction.
Βλέπετε πάρα πολλές κήλικες, αλλά μαζί με τις... Αυτό που έχει...
For Dr. Adrimis Sismani, the fruit of a lifetime's quest.
Ανήκει στη Μικηναϊκή κοινή.
And these are new. They haven't been used.
Καθημερινή χρήση. Βλέπετε ότι... Εδώ έχει φύγει από τη θέση του. Δεν είναι...
So this is a room in the Mycenaean palace of Iolkos, next to the kitchen block, destroyed, nobody's sure what the reason would be, towards 1200 BC, so after the time of the legendary time, but the marks of the catastrophe